What's up, guys? Thanks so much for clicking on the video. My name is Leah, and let's get a little spicy because we have a few things that we need to talk about as it pertains to the Real Housewives of Atlanta. So make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And without further ado, let's get into the video. All right, y'all. So first, let's talk about Miss Kelli Kales, okay? Because it looks like Gary, as well as the girl that won her default judgment against her for the $18,000 that I talked about, not in a spicy corner, but in one of my reviews, both are trying to get her wages garnished, specifically pertaining to her Real Housewives of Atlanta check. So this was posted by Reality T underscore recap, where they posted a screenshot of the actual court documents of Gary filing an affidavit for garnishment. So it says this: Gary comes for Kelly's RHOA paycheck garnishment filed against RHOA production company. And this is what they put in the caption: says, another Gary update. Remember Gary, the same Gary Angela brought up at the RHOA reunion when Kelly asked, who is Gary? Well, Gary is now taking steps to collect the judgment he won against Kelly, Potter, Pharrell, but it's just Kelly Potter. She dropped the Pharrell piece. According to the garnishment after David filed August the 17th, 2026, Gary says $83,699 remained unpaid on his judgment plus post-judgment interest and court costs. The filing names Truly Original LLC, the production company behind RHOA, as the garnishee. Gary states that he believes Truly Original is holding money or property belonging to Kelly or is contractually obligated to pay Kelly or her company Cooking with Kelly Inc. In other words, Gary is now attempting to collect the judgment from money that may be owed to Kelly through the RHOA production company. It also seems that Gary isn't the only one that's also trying to garnish Kelly's wages. Now, I talked about this girl in one of my reviews, but she is an ex-employee of Kelly's, and she sued Kelly for like emotional distress and things of that nature when it came to her working there and not getting paid properly. And she ended up getting a $18,000 default from Kelly because, again, she didn't show up to court the same way she didn't show up to court with Gary. But in the video, I can't really play it for you guys because she has Whitney Houston's I'm Every Woman playing. And, that's definitely going to be a copyright strike. But I'll let the video play. But in the video, she captioned it saying, going to get my check after Gary gets his, LOL. So here's the thing. As much as I like Kelly, and I really grew to like Kelly this season, and then she really won me over at the reunion, because to be honest, she fighting everybody and holding up pretty well. And I said, are you getting whacked? Yes. But girl, are you holding your own? Yes. And I loves it. Okay. But as much as I like Kelly, you have to pay people. I don't think Gary or this ex-employee is wrong for wanting to garnish Kelly's wages. If you promise to pay back, or the court said, girl, you got to pay them people back, you got to pay them back. Now, mind you, Kelly probably would not have to pay these people back to such a degree if she actually showed up to court, because both of these situations are default judgments. And I don't get why she's not showing up to court when she's getting sued. But hey, that's her. Okay. But yeah, but I'm wondering how this is going to pan out for Kelly. Are they going to take her entire RHOA check, or are they going to put her on a payment plan? I see them putting her on a payment plan more so than taking her check, because to be honest, Kelly probably isn't making that much from Real Housewives of Atlanta. Because I Googled and I'm like, what's the average salary for, a Real Housewives of Atlanta, like girly? And this is what Google gave me. Now, we got to take it with a grain of salt, but I tend to believe that this is probably more along the lines of being correct. But it says this: salary for cast members of Bravo's The Real Housewives franchise range dramatically from about $20,000 to over $1 million per season, depending heavily on tenured fan popularity in the specific city. Newcomers typically start around $30,000 to $60,000 per season, while veterans OG stars can command seven figures per season paychecks. Then they have like a breakdown, and it says breakdown of the Real Housewives salaries. Newcomers slash friends of 16,000 to 60,000 per season. Mid tier slash established cast 100,000 to 500,000 per season. And then finally A list slash franchise veterans. And then they say examples being Beverly Hills or Atlanta staples, 500,000 to $1 million plus per season. Kelli is still in the newcomer slash friends of. So we could say at most she's probably making $60,000, and that's not enough to cover the $83,000 plus that she owes Gary, plus paying that girl back $18,000. So I definitely think they're probably going to put her on a payment plan. And honestly, I hate this for Kelli, mainly because I feel like two things are happening to her at once. One, she is definitely probably making bad financial choices, which she need to get together, and hopefully she's still working with that financial advisor. But two, I feel like people are negating the fact that she was going through a contentious divorce for the past like 3 or 4 years, and she even expressed that she spent over $200,000 on a lawyer. And with her husband being, I guess, the primary like breadwinner in their family, it is oftentimes those type of men use the court systems to punish and abuse their wives for having the courage and the confidence and the wherewithal to leave them. It has been documented that most women end up bankrupt when they are filing for divorce against their husband, especially if their husband was the primary breadwinner and they were a stay-at-home mom. Now, we do know Kelli was operating and working the business, but it feels like her and her husband had a lot of their things intertwined, and he has been using the court systems to punish her. Again, I do think Kelli has made some bad financial decisions. That $70,000 she used on her teeth, she could have used that to pay that girl that $18,000 and put a couple of money to Gary and called it a day. But we here now, and hopefully she's able to get this all squared away. But yeah, again, as much as I like Miss Kelli Kells, you got to pay people what they are owed and do it in a timely fashion. So moving on and continuing with Kelli, let's talk about her being on V103 and being asked by the host what really went down, with Shamea and K. Michelle at that dinner. Did they actually almost get into a fight?
Michelle try to get up and fight Shamea.
Well, somebody on this cast actually tried to fight me.
What you mean?
Like, knuck if you bug.
No, physically?
Yeah.
Michelle painted the picture as if this was a mock cross-examination that Shamea was doing at the dinner. So what happened at the dinner? Kelli, you were there.
Was I there?
And then she drinks her coffee, y'all. Yes, you were there, Kelli.
How's your morning going? You having a good morning?
I'm having a great morning.
Awesome, me too.
Did K. Michelle try to get up and fight Shamea? Okay.
Girl, this coffee's so hot.
Okay. She said, no comment. So you're not going to tell us nothing about what happened. That's fine. That's okay. That's all right. I asked her why she didn't say anything while she was sitting in between Shamea and... How come you didn't say anything?
Because what I was explaining to you is, even though we met for dinner and they had this whole situation, it wasn't about me. It had nothing to do with me. Mm-hmm. I just so happened to be there, right? And I want to give both of these ladies, I love them both, and shout out to my bestie Shamea. Love her dearly. I want them to be able to take the time to figure it out on their own without me, right? And then if I need to come in and say whatever it is I need to say, or, speak on what I witnessed and speak on, where maybe somebody lacked and went wrong, I'll do that. But they can make up today or tomorrow, and then I'm going to be left in the middle of it, right? And that's not where I want our friend group to be, right? I think we are both successful ladies. Shout out to Kay and, Jesus and Whiskey, and shout out to my bestie for working on her new album and all the amazing things. These are both amazing women. Do things go too far? Absolutely. But I want to give them the room and the space to make up, right? And I don't want to interject in that. So shout out to them. I love them both. And let's just see.
So I saw this clip on TikTok, and I was actually surprised by people's responses to this in the comments. Like, people were really mad at Kelli, bringing up how she's only defending Shamea because Shamea is her landlord and Kelli is broke. But honestly, I think the way in which Kelli is operating in this capacity right now is fine. And the reason why I say that is if I have two friends that are arguing and I want all of us to come back together and I feel like there's a possibility for you guys to be friends, why would I get in between the argument that y'all got going on? Either one, make matters worse, or two, I like both of y'all are mad at me, or one of you are pissed at me, and then I lose both of my friends. That doesn't make sense to me. And based off of what Kelli said at the reunion, it read to me that both of them are telling the truth to some capacity. The fact that Kelli wouldn't outright say, like, no, girl, you lying, it gives that K. Michelle had a point about what she was feeling about Shamea, and Shamea has a point about how she was feeling about K. Michelle. And she probably feels like things just reached a point where nobody was listening to each other, and now we have this. And I don't think she's wrong for being like, look, I love them both and I want them to figure it out. But I do wonder how this is going to be for her continuing forward with the new season. Like, are you going to be running back and forth in between K. Michelle and Shamea, or is Kelli going to stay committed to staying out of it? So the last thing pertaining to Kelli that we're going to talk about is her and Kandi being on this show called The Spell Off Live. I've never heard of it, but the clip that I saw, it actually looked like a lot of fun. I guess all of the games that you play on that show has to deal with spelling. There was one game that her and Kelli played together where it was called Read My Mouth. And pretty much they put noise canceling headphones on Kandi, and Kelli had to say the names of animals. And I could not go on that show because I'm a horrible speller. Horrible, okay? But it looked like a lot of fun. I think DC Youngfly is the host of it. Well, there was a clip going around of Kandi and Kelli, talking to each other. And Kelli actually said she feel like Kandi need to come back to the show. So let me play that clip for you guys.
Say it again.
You know what happened? They just made us aware that we've done the best of any team that has played this game, meaning no team that has played the spell off so far has won 27 points except for our team.
Do you know what that means, guys? It means that she needs to come back to RHOA.
What? How did she get that to make
It's
that?
two housewives. It's two housewives winning. I thought that was so good.
Girl.
Don't y'all think?
Yeah,
Let's see in the comments. Let's see in the comments what y'all think.
Girl, you could have got two women.
I don't know how I would feel about Kandi coming back. Like, I wouldn't hate it, but I also wouldn't be like overjoyed about it. I don't think Kandi really wants to come back, to be honest. I think the door is open for her to come back. But like she said, if Phaedra is there, you're not going to see me. So I don't think she's coming back. So moving on, let's talk about Claudia, Jourdan, and Porsha. So basically on Monday Night Monday Night Live, the show that Carlos King hosts every Monday with Claudia Jourdan, I think her name is Blue Letrica, and Dustin Ross. They talk about, several different shows, but they always talk about Real Housewives of Atlanta. And a lot of people don't like Claudia Jourdan's take on Porsha. People feel like it's a one-sided beef. Well, she finally decided to explain why she doesn't really like Porsha. And I want to play the clip for you guys and get into it.
He's cool as hell.
He's very nice. Go ahead.
You know who he is, because he be bailing your girl out of jail when she gets mugshots taken. Okay, that's one. He was around since Cordell. Matter of fact, when I met Porsha, he invited me to lunch and to dinner, and I met her. She was a sweet girl, fresh out of getting out of the divorce, and I was introduced to her as she was his girlfriend. So imagine my surprise when we went out that night, and his other rich friend comes, and Porsha says, "I need to get that." So that was my first issue with her, because my friend I'm introduced to you as my friend's girl, and you go behind his, to me, you're telling me you want to step on my boy. I'm looking at you crazy. And I've always looked at her sideways since then. So there's your origin story, ladies and gentlemen. I lost respect. If I meet someone that Dustin's dating, right, and he introduced me to his man or whatever, and then in that same night when we're out, his man's see somebody else rich and it's "Ooh, I'm gonna go get that." I don't look at you crazy now. Cause how dare you tell me you about to shit on my person that I fuck with, that I'm friends with. Okay, that's number one. Number two, this is a guy that has had her back for a very long time and played the back for a very long time. He was around for a lot of the stuff. Go naked hair, investors, hooking up with people that cards me. I'm giving y'all everything tonight. Y'all can be mad at me all you want. I don't give a fuck because it's the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And like I said at that reunion, if you think this is defamation and I'm lying, file a lawsuit. Okay? But you can't. So anyways, the guy he's had her back for a very long time. But, when she went and got married to Simon, all that, whatever, I think that maybe caused a little bit of a rift. And I don't know where they are right now, but there was a time where Kelli and him were kicking it because they called me one time and said hi. And that's how I got introduced to her.
The guy and Kelli called you.
Yeah. And they said, what's up? And there was no shade. There was no talking about Porsha. Her name was not even mentioned. There was not. I will say this. He don't be out there like trashing Porsha like that. He wasn't. And I thought she was like cool. That he just said, what's up? She said, what's up? Whatever. Me and Kelli do not be talking all the time like that. It was a couple DMs like about what we say in the show. It wasn't no feeding her info, her feeding me info. It has been none of that. Except today, there was a little contact today where she told me a couple of things. She actually did pay Phaedra's law firm some money, so it wasn't all free. But she did say Phaedra did the work pro bono, but the company. Oh, sorry, was I supposed to say that? Anyways, she did give her 10 racks. So I like the truth to be out because I think when people be like, oh, you was broke and she did it for free for you, you should shut the fuck up. No. What else do you want to know about the guy? He's cool people.
Yeah, I think yeah.
A lot of people rock with him. He's cool people. He's the connect to a lot of people with money. A lot of people know him. He knows everyone that got bread. Yeah, he does. And he's definitely had peace back for a very long time. He's never trashed her to me. He's not like a methy. He's not a bitch like that. He's just not. He's never trashed. So I want you to know that, Porsha, that he's able to be friends with multiple people that rock with you and don't, without being a messy person. Like he's not like that. I just know a lot of things from him and like just from, I'm very observant and I know people in that circle as well. He introduced me to people in Nigeria that actually gave me tea that I put on the show. That wasn't his fault. He introduced me and I was on my own after that. You know what I'm saying? But as you know, and I think it has been proven more than once, that my tea don't be fake. It just be early. I like black tea, English breakfast. It's very good.
So here's the thing. Do I think Claudia has a legitimate reason not to like Porsha? Yes and no. Do I think her reasoning, when I say no, it's kind of like that seemed like a trivial moment. But I also will say yes in the sense of she's been around Porsha in Porsha's presence numerous of times. I think that one interaction basically told Claudia all she needed to know about Porsha, in the sense of Claudia sees Porsha as someone that probably has low moral character and lacks integrity. You cannot tell Claudia how to feel about Porsha. And I kind of don't like the way that people are framing it as if it's like a one-sided beef, when it's like, no, I don't think Claudia has beef with Porsha. She's giving her thoughts and opinions about someone that she knows and basically basing it off of how they're behaving on the show, like everybody else, like myself included. Do I personally know Porsha? No, but I'm just giving my thoughts and opinions and my commentary about what I'm seeing as I'm watching this show. Everybody has different opinions. Everyone has different perspectives. I also find it quite odd and weird that the Porsha stands, an emphasis on the stands, because I don't think the fans are as weird as the stands, but the Porsha stands were calling for Carlos to ban Claudia off of the show, as well as telling Porsha, adding Porsha in the comments saying Porsha should never work with Carlos anymore. He's a messy gay man. Like, they were mad at him. And it's like, y'all are the reason why a lot of people probably don't like Porsha. A lot of stands cause their faves to be disliked. Okay. And then y'all take things too far, because why is Kelli posting DMs of a Porsha stan wishing death upon her? Like, y'all take stuff too far, and that inadvertently impacts the person that you are supporting and defending. It's odd. Okay, it's weird, and a lot of y'all need help. And I hope Kelli went and sought out this person's IP address. Okay. So then Porsha actually responded by posting a picture of herself with this caption: being left behind doesn't mean loss. Don't get bitter, baby. Maybe your turn is coming. So everyone felt like that was a shot at Claudia, because if you don't know, the season that Claudia was on, technically she was supposed to come back, but as a friend of, even though I think originally she was a full-time housewife, and she felt like that was a slap in the face that they would demote her to a friend of. A lot of people encouraged her to go back and then, work her way back up to being full-time, but she didn't want to do that. So I guess Porsha is basically saying, girl, you got left behind, and because you didn't take the chance, my star is rising. Don't be bitter about it. Do I think Claudia will respond to this? No, not really, because I don't think Claudia cares about Porsha in the way in which a lot of people feel like she does. I don't think Claudia's obsessed with Porsha. I just think Claudia really does not like Porsha and feels like she is someone with low moral character. So I don't think she's going to respect this response from her. So I don't even think she's going to engage. So lastly, let's talk about Kandi, K. Michelle, and Shamea. So Kandi was on V103, just like Kelli, a couple of days ago, and she was asked about K. Michelle referring to her as a mean girl. So let me pull up her response.
The clip where K. Michelle, she mentioned that you were a mean girl in Atlanta.
I personally feel that mean girls can't call other girls mean girls. It doesn't work like that. Like, we've seen her, like, literally go in on people on multiple times on camera, on television, calling people by their name, doing all the things. And with that, I have to say, if I'm a mean girl, she was a mean girl too. If you are not nice to me, I am not nice to you. Most Tauruses that we are very straightforward. Girl, we don't like beat around the bush. Whatever I'm thinking, I say it. It is what it is. It is what it is. And I don't really care, because y'all have to remember, a lot of the arguments and stuff that you guys see that end up blowing up in public, a lot of times those are things that were going on behind the scenes, and I don't always go online and tell you everything that the people have said to me or done or whatever that made me feel away. I don't always give y'all that information, so y'all may only see what the other person said and be like, well, Kandi did this.
Taurus is in my opinion.
And what do? I just say, okay. That's how you feel.
Let them.
Yeah.
Let them. You see the clip where K. Michelle...
So that's what Kandi said, and I knew K. Michelle was going to respond, and she did. So she started off by saying this: actually, I didn't say that, but that lady did say you was Tigger's side piece. She then ended up quote tweeting Kempire, who said this: in all fairness, I don't think K. Michelle was calling Kandi a mean girl. She was calling her friends. And then K. Michelle quote tweeted him by saying, not your mean self being fair. You are absolutely right. I've been calling the same two girls mean girls for years. Then in the Instagram comments, Kempire said, not me catching a stray. So here's the thing. If you don't know who Big Tigger is, which I think most people do, but if you don't know, Big Tigger is a prominent figure in the Black entertainment media space, particularly in like music, more so radio. He's been hosting or been a radio host for several decades. He's hosted award shows as well as TV shows. About a month ago, not even about a month, I think actually a month ago, his wife got on the internet. She had like a badly bruised up face, and she wrote in her caption, ask Tigger what happened to my face, implying that he did something to her face, like he put his hands on her. A lot of people thought she was letting us know that Big Tigger was abusing her. She got mad at the internet and was like, I never said Tigger did anything to me, but you implied it. People aren't stupid. You're trying to do what Angela did, Big Tigger's wife, by implying something and thinking that people won't get what you're saying. So she was mad at the internet. The next thing you know, a few days after that post, 2 videos came out, and you see her and Tigger fighting over Big Tigger's phone, where she is like yelling at him and basically trying to figure out what's in his phone because she believes that he is cheating on her. She even said that the lady who you see in the interview clips of Kelli and Kandi, her name is Francesca, that Francesca was one of the women that he was having an affair with. Francesca actually sent Big Tigger's wife a cease and desist and told that lady, if you keep talking about me, I'm gonna sue the piss out of you. And Big Tigger's wife been quiet ever since. So I was like, ooh, girl, she called your card. And no, I don't believe Francesca or Kandi had affairs with Big Tigger. I don't know much about Francesca, but it seems like she's pretty serious about her business and about her career. So I don't think she would jeopardize it by getting with Big Tigger. Also, I would believe that Kandi was with a woman before I ever believed that she was with Big Tigger. And if she was with a man, it would probably be a dark-skinned black man, because Kandi has a type. Every man that she has been linked to publicly has been a dark-skinned man. But K. Michelle, to me, inadvertently proved what Kandi said about her. You are known to attack people publicly. You're doing just that. What does her calling you a mean girl have to do with you alleging or throwing out there that she potentially is Big Tigger's side piece? Other than you are exhibiting the same behaviors that you said were mean and hurtful towards you. And as much as K. Michelle does not like Tamar, they have similar tendencies where they cry about the mean girls of Atlanta, but yet they exhibit the same exact behaviors. And that doesn't mean that the things that have happened to them are okay or was right, but it's like, girl, you're being extremely hypocritical in this moment, because you can tell that K. Michelle was massively triggered by the fact that Kandi said it takes a mean girl to know a mean girl. But you do have those tendencies. You wanted to be friends with them. And my thing about it is the statement that she gave to Kempire would have been great. That's the statement you should have just said. I've only been talking about the same two women, nothing to do with Kandi. But yet you did mention Kandi during the episode. You said, I don't want nothing to deal with the Kandi coded clit. That would imply that you're talking about me and my friends. So Kandi to me isn't wrong. So I thought that was the end of K. Michelle and, what she had to say about Kandi. But I was wrong, all right? Because K. Michelle decided to do a TikTok live last night and had some things to say about Kandi and Shamea. So this person said this: K. Michelle says she never asked Shamea to go to the concert with Kandi and her friends. She says Kandi was quick to answer the mean girl question like she wanted to have an issue. She still says she has written good songs and is a good artist, and she respects her. So let me pull up that clip for you guys.
Go out to eat. A couple other people go. And your friend Shamea calls me and she says, hey, we're done with the concert. So get this right. We dropped Shamea off at the concert. Okay? Why? This is where she says, I asked to go. Y'all, I don't mean no disrespect, but look at me. Think about how I act. I have a blast. People, you just have to know me. Y'all know damn well I ain't asked to go to no Charlie Wilson concert with no Kandi. For what? No disrespect, but for what? Like, okay? None at all. Oh, let's get on the phone call first, right? So, when her mama leaves and we all leave this club this night, I'm like, I never want to hang with this lady again. Something is wrong, okay? So, I'm staying my distance. She calls me and say, hi, Kandi knew that I was saying that or whatever. I said, what, Shamea? Well, I was just saying, I'm sorry if I hurt your feelings, because you was upset or you was crying. I was just saying that y'all would get along so much. Y'all would be the best of friends. Y'all talented, you're pretty, she like you like her. I'm like, what does this have to do? Why are you being messy, Shamea? What are we even talking about? Yes, this is a pretty woman. Yes, she has success. Me and this lady have never had a problem. We're in the music industry. We've never had a problem in over 10 years. So what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing telling her and telling them, Rashida and them, telling these girls that I want to hang with them? Out of all of these years, I done got away from that. You didn't come into my life and you telling these girls I'm asking to hang with them? You out your fucking mind. You are out of your mind. So I'm telling her, I never said that. I never asked you. I never asked you to go to where I don't even talk about these women. Well, I'm sorry. You know, she always sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I just wanted us to be cool. All to be cool. You wanted us to be cool. I don't have no problem with these women. But I don't want to be their friend either. I got my friends. And the heck and the trauma and the years of therapy, even being shook up about being in this group, still is a lot to me. It's a lot for me. And you take that to try to hook me up with them without me asking you? Yeah, that's a bit much. That's a bit much. Leave me out of it. Leave me out of it. So by the time I get to the TV show and we being asked questions, that's when I say, I don't want to hear no more about no candy-coated nights. Candy-coated clicks. That's when that happened. And I said that. There wasn't no disrespect towards Kandi. It was just, I'm tired of Shamea talking about this to me. Why is she making it such a big issue? Me and these girls don't have a problem. Shamea, why do you want this problem so bad? Now, yesterday, I watched someone tell another woman, this lady is a journalist, supposed to be, which her job, I could have had that job. This lady's a journalist, so she say. I'm going to call her cheap labor writer. And she asks another young woman. Well, she tells her, you know K. Michelle said. Girl, if you don't get somewhere and finish your breakfast and read a book. K. Michelle said. What K. Michelle say? What she said? K. Michelle say, that you a mean girl. Now, when did I say that, bitch? When? When did I say that? Just when did I say that? Go read something. Sick of it. Sick of it. Sick of it. So, the other person responds back. Oh, we've seen her. And and she's a mean girl. First place, I'm about to be stunning you. Think you're a great writer? Great artist. You do shows together. You and Scapegoat. I go and vice versa. And we sing those songs. Really don't have a problem with you. Really even respect your business. But you were so quick. Soon as she told you, Kay said this about you, didn't even give me the benefit of the doubt. You wanted to say something about me crazy. Because you said it too quick. But that's okay. I still respect you. I'm still a woman.
Here's my 2 cents. K. Michelle, although I really like her, she is exhausting. And I understand why people don't like her and why she probably does not have a lot of friends. Okay. She gives very much my only friend is my sister type energy. And if you meet them type of girls, you might want to stay away from them. Okay. Because the truth of the matter is, listening to what she said in this live made me feel like Shamea hasn't done anything that bad for you to be behaving this way towards her. It just feels like you're trying to find a justification from distancing yourself away from her so that when you start really hanging out with Porsha and them, you don't feel bad. It feels like you need to, in order, like, blame her for something in order to be like, when I'm with them and they might say some, crap about you, it's going to be okay because you did this. Because overall, it just sounds like Shamea overstepped, which she often does, and tried to be a people pleaser and just make sure everyone was comfortable and bridge a gap that did not need to be bridged. Because the truth of the matter is, Kandi is fiercely loyal to her friends, so there's no way she was going to be cool with K. Michelle. Shamea just met K. Michelle. And it's like, girl, you don't even really know that lady's temperament to try to get them to be cool. Now, could there be some messiness? Yeah, there could have been. Maybe Shamea was just like, well, if you get cool with Kandi and Kandi comes back on the show or we start hanging out, Kandi's a housewife. It could be something. It could turn into something, Housewives try to strategize, calculate, and think ahead. But again, that wasn't her place. But K. Michelle, to me, is not making sense because you're saying that after that situation of you guys in the club, you felt the need to distance yourself away from, or you just felt like you couldn't hang out with Shamea anymore. Though we saw you after that situation playing out, talking to Shamea, talking about how like, it doesn't matter how mad you get at me, you're going to still be my friend. We're talking every day and I want the love and like Shamea back. So did that situation make you feel uncomfortable and you didn't want to be cool with her no more? Or what is it? You're not, like, you're contradicting yourself. Now, when it comes to her having these feelings about Kandi, her saying that she felt like Kandi was itching to say something negative about her, I don't agree with. And the reason why I say that is what Kandi said is her viewpoint of you. You do get on the internet and be blasting people, okay, Michelle? You do get on the internet and be tearing people every which way but loose. Sometimes I enjoy watching it and reading it, okay? But the truth of the matter is, Kandi is best friends, are really close friends with Rashida and Toya. You have spoken so negatively about them. Of course, if I'm friends with someone and you're speaking negatively about my best friends or just my friends in general, I'm not going to like you. I'm going to think you're a mean girl. That's not her itching to say something about you. And you saying like, oh, you didn't even give me the benefit of the doubt. Why should she? Based off of your behavior when it pertains to her friends. Her response was a logical response. Now, granted, it would have been nice if Kandi would have asked, like, when did she say this? And probed a little more, but she didn't have to do that. So I thought that's where it ended. But then K. Michelle ended up saying this. She quote tweeted someone that says, the K. Michelle and Shamea fallout is a learning lesson. Never befriend a person who is best friends with all of your enemies, because I would never. And then K. Michelle quote tweeted this person by saying, never. She has caused this whole mess as a person who will take accountability. I didn't do anything to Shamea and really didn't do nothing to no Kandi. I just care enough. Bullshit, girl. And so then now we have Shamea getting on the internet, and she posted this to her Insta story saying, if people are ganging up against one person, believe the one person. That one person is probably a huge threat and carries a spirit of truth. Girl, did they make this with ChatGPT? Because who talks like that? Ugh. Shamea, leave that energy there. Like someone said online, you're a little too late. If you're not going to come in next season leaning into being a bitch, then I'm sick of you posting these things in your Insta story. Like, stop apologizing to these people and stand on business at this point, girl, because they don't like you and they don't care to see your point of view or your point. But that's all I got for you guys today. As always, remember to be bravely authentic. Definitely hop down in the comments below, subscribe to the channel, and I'm out, y'all. Deuces.